I chose B.F. Skinner. B.F. Skinner developed radical behaviorism, which is also known in today as applied behavior analysis. Skinner believed that behavior was both measurable and observable, but it could also be shaped using external stimuli to shape behavior. Although regular behaviorism in the past didn't take into account mental states or cognitive processes, Skinner also believed that these could be shaped by environmental um, stimuli as well. Skinner developed operant conditioning and based it off of Thorndike's law of effect. Behavior with pleasant consequences will more likely be repeated, whereas behavior with unpleasant consequences will repeat less often. From there, Skinner developed the Premack principle. Highly desired wants can be used to reinforce or punish lower desired behaviors. And then from that, he created operant conditioning. And that is a learning process and that modifies behavior using reinforcement and punishment. Reinforcement increases the likelihood of behaviors to happen, where punishments decrease the likelihood of the behavior. From that, we get our ABCs of behaviorisms. In operant conditioning, a person is exposed to a stimulus, and that is called the antecedent. A person then responds to said stimulus, and we call that the behavior. And from that behavior response, a person is either reinforced or punished, and that is called the consequence. And that is what shapes the behavior. If a person is reinforced, they will most likely be increase the chances of the behavior. And if they are punished, they are more likely to not do the behavior in the future. One educational impact that Skinner had was classroom management. You can find behaviorism all throughout schools. Teachers use reinforcements, use punishments, although it's advised to not use those often. Token academies to help class and students learn behaviors from classroom procedures to how they should act on the playground or outside. Another educational impact was instructional design. B.F. Skinner introduced shaping, breaking down complex ideas into smaller steps. And with shaping, you allow each student to become successful at a previous step before moving on to the next step. This ensures that the complex task or idea is not only manageable, but it allows students to work at their own pace and allows those who need help at certain steps get that help before moving on to the next step. Another thing B.F. Skinner did was immediate feedback. In order for behavior to be shaped, the consequence or reinforcement needed to be immediate. In the school setting, reinforcements for correct answers help establish the correct answers and the behaviors. And there was also a quick correction of incorrect answers, so students did not learn the incorrect answers. The third educational impact that Skinner had in today is behavior modification programs, applied behavior analysis, behavior specialized classrooms. All of those are used today to help students and people with disabilities such as autism learn acceptable behaviors. Behavior modification programs can also be found in schools, hospitals, therapy centers. Some criticisms that people have for B.F. Skinner's conditioning is it oversimplified human behavior. Um, It said, it basically said that if you give, example, someone candy, they will do the behavior that we're doing over again. But humans are more complex than that. Another criticism is that sometimes the behavior that isn't desired isn't necessarily bad. So a lot of times there can be a bias with what behaviors we are reinforcing and what behaviors we do not want to see. And my personal critique is although that reinforcement and punishment can shape behavior, I feel like the mental state and like the cognitive processes that a person has are a huge factor as well and can't always be shaped by environmental stimuli.